All right, let's see here. All right. I need to figure out what I'm doing today. That's a quest. That's the thing I need to do continually. I guess I could work on bank quality of life. What could I do for that? It would be bank. I don't know if I could do tabs without messing up the networking side. But I can at least do filtering. I could add item filtering to banks. Maybe that's worth it. I don't know. Let's think. Well, anyways, there's maybe bank stuff I can do, improvement wise. There's also there's also for the housing mode. Oops. For the housing mode, it's kind of hard to know if you're in edit mode or not. Just because it changes red or green. What's up, Reinhardt? How's it going? So I wonder if this, I could make an icon. Like an icon button. I'm just trying to think of what it would look like. Let's see what else we have. Also, maybe wanted to overhaul the merchant UI. Let's go look at that. I could split it. I could split it and have like your stuff. Also, I can make these way smaller probably. The problem is I made these big because I wanted to make it possible to sell things for more than just gold. Like they could sell for resources as well, I think. Let me switch to my other account. Hold on. Yeah, wait, why is this type of shop? Maybe I can't do anything other than gold. What is he? Is he only sell for gold? Gold. 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 I wonder what happens if I do, let's go to this guy and make his shop recipe a little bit more expensive. I'm just curious if I can. Because I don't want to lose a feature. I just don't know how I don't know how I set this up, how I configured it. Let's see. We have shop, blacksmith. Rock's more expensive, what? Weren't these always the same price? I haven't changed them. $10 gold seems fair, yeah. The thing is I have to make things way more expensive to buy than to sell. Otherwise, there's like no, otherwise everything's just like arbitrageable, I feel like. So you just have to just like steal from players. Also, it's a little bit of a novelty, but I guess these shops you can only trade currency for. So I could probably redo. I could probably redo this interface and make these way simpler. So it's just like one little box with the currency to the right of it, and then like a purchase button below it or something like that. And then I could put all of your items here and include your backpack. Then it's not this weird double interface thing. Because right now it's like you click on stuff and then you sell it. I guess you can unequip stuff, but you can't sell from here. So it's like, it's just weird. I'm just trying to think about how this is going to work for everybody. The whole merchanting system in this game is a little bit weird. Not being able to sell from the backpack is also a choice, but I wouldn't know. It's also a choice, but I wouldn't know where the UI would go. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like, what I can do, instead of having you sell from here, your inventory would just remain here, and this UI would split, and it would be more like a, here's all of your items, and here's all of his items, and then you can just click on, it would be just, this would be minimized. This would be just a little, an icon with the price, and then the purchase button, or a sell button on your side. So you can just click to sell individual items. Whereas right now it's like you have to click a bunch of things and then you sell them all. But also it's, I don't know, it's tricky. It's tricky because if you have an item stack, I need to sell all of them. Thank you, ZZDev, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. I just don't know how I want to do it, like user-wise, because it has to handle stacks. I don't know if that counts as a new container type. Hopefully that's not going to be a new... Sounds actually nice. I don't know if... That counts as a new container type. Hopefully that's not going to be a new checkbox for the future if there are new mechanics. Wait, what do you mean a new checkbox? This would just be for merchant interfaces or selling interfaces. I just don't know how it would work for selling stacks of items. Yeah, I guess I don't really understand what you're talking about by a checkbox. Like something you have to unlock. I would just change it for everybody. Like a mental note. It wouldn't be a new container type, but it's just going to be a new way to display your stuff. So that way it's not like, because right now it's kind of a weird interface where you can really only sell from your inventory, and then you have your equipment, and then you have your backpack. But the backpack's hidden now because this thing pops up. So you can't sell from your backpack. I'm envisioning. I could also just I could just dump all of your items here. The purchase side I like as a single button. The sell side though is more complicated because it's got to handle stacks. But this one I think it's fine to just buy one at a time. What's stack? I think this is stackable. Yeah, so you can just like rapid click and like buy stuff pretty easily. And I feel like I feel like that's fine. Like you just rip through and like you can get a bunch of stuff. But I guess then you can just do it for selling things too. I guess it makes it annoying though, because you probably sell stuff more than you buy. It is nice just to select like a whole stack. I don't know. Let's see if we can work on something else. I mean, I need to release a patch here soon, so I don't want to do something too big to where I'm going to be working on it multiple days. I'm really trying to do something that I can do like in one day. I could also do bank quality of life. Like I can add the filter buttons on the side. But also there's like, I guess there's different ways I could structure the bank. I could change the bank to be a tabbed based system rather than one big page that you scroll through. Or I can add filters so you click like helmets and then it just shows all of your helmets. But then there's also, you probably want to be able to filter by weapon types too. So it's just a little tricky, like what all filters. I mean, I was thinking I would just do the ones from the crafting table. Like this sort of thing. It's also weird that now that these are separated, now that the item blocks are separated by like kind of what they do, like this only does food basically. This pretty much only does blocks. So it's like, I don't really know if I need these filters over here that much anymore. I really just need them like for something like this where you have like an aggregate of different items. I think some things, this is only books. This is only like staff weapons. What's up, Slither? How's it going? There's only rings. Yeah, you can ask a question. I'll try to add the filter thing. What's your favorite unit of time? My favorite unit of time is a jiffy. It's a jiffy. Jiffy can be an informal time for an unspecified short period. I'll be back in a jiffy. In electronics, a jiffy is a period of an alternating current power cycle, 1/60th or 1/50th of a second in most mains power supplies. In computing, a jiffy was originally the time between 2 ticks of the system timer interrupt. It is not an absolute time interval unit, since the duration depends on the clock interrupt frequency on that particular hardware platform. So it is a proper unit of time. Niche unit of time lover, yeah. Let's do bank filters. But I love all my unit of times equally. I just have a special place in my heart for that one. We'll do bank filters like this. Who's the runner-up? I actually don't know. Maybe like a nanosecond. It's so nanoseconds are so everywhere. It's always hard to say. Global filter list. Yeah, okay. That's just weird. He needs a day, you only need 864E plus 10 microseconds. That's true. I just like how arbitrary like a unit of time is. Like it's just so invented, you know? So you can say that your government name is Unit of Time, but people call you Jiffy? Yeah. My government issued ID has a unit of time on it. Do I want to put this in like a widget type function? I don't know. I guess it's kind of in its own little block. Okay, so we have our window, or we have our like menu box. I might make it wider. Plus, or how much? I cut it by 16, then I do a pad rect. Oh, I unpad it by a pad rect. We'll just take from here, and then we'll bump it out to fit whatever side we want. How about that? Okay. Yeah, if they're a guest, we can't show their bank. I think I can just do this. It's not crafting filters though. We call this something different. I think I call it bank filter. So we should get our filter list over here now. It doesn't work yet because it's not hooked up to anything, but it should be tracking our, unless it doesn't compile. Oh. There we go. Okay. I think I need to unpad though, don't I? Hold on. Bless me. There's a little bit of right padding that I need to add. But we'll balance that stuff out. What I want to do first is I want to make sure the filtering operation happens. This is a pretty old UI container though, so I might be doing it an old way. It's hard because the index ID of the storage is what needs to be used for the networking call. So I can't lose access to that. Yeah, but I think I have it. Yeah, okay. So I think all I have to do is bank recs, item slot, slot index, because what I do for the crafting one is I'm pretty sure I have kind of a loose list and I filter it through these filters. I'm trying to think here if I need to filter my items or if I can just loop through the rectangles and then check the item type and make sure it matches the filters. And if it doesn't, then just don't show it. The problem is I think that slot index, scroll index times. Oh, thank you, Chai Excel, for the subscription, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. Means a lot. I just don't know if the position's gonna be like, I know I can hide them, but I don't know if the position's gonna shift over, and I don't know if I want that. Like once you filter things, would I want everything to shift to the top? Probably, right? Like you're either in filter mode or you're not in filter mode. And if you have a helmet filter on, you probably just want to show all of your helmets like snap to the top. I don't know. User interfaces are always tricky. It's either this or I'd go full-fledged bank tabs and but that's a rewrite. I think that I have to rewrite the I have to rewrite how the bank storage stuff works if I do that. Because right now the bank, how it's stored in the database and how it's stored on over the network is it's just one big array of items and quantities. But if I started to make it, if I added bank tabs, I would have to have multiple sheets, multiple pages of data, if that makes sense. And then I'd also have to track, because you have a limit to how many items you can store. And right now the limit's defined by this, but I have to have a separate limit that says like, using this many stacks. But also there's weird stuff, like you can, oh, you can't do that. Oh yeah. But you can't shift right click for some reason. But there's no like deduplication there, right? These are just like a regular inventory. Let's just do the filters for now and see how far that gets us. And if that gets us close enough to where people are happy, then that's fine with me. And if I need to rewrite the bank storage, I can rewrite it in the future because it's gonna have to be a migration I have to do anyways. So, but at this point, I don't really want to do a migration. I just want to have the results that I want. Yeah, the problem is I pre-calculate the bank rects. So I have two options. I can either make a filtered list of like indices or something that I want to show. I could also just rewrite this whole thing. Because I wrote this before I had a lot of my UI tools. So there's a lot of manual things going on. Panel sprite slot. I don't know which one this is. Like, I don't know what this is for. Oh, it's for this. How do I draw these? Oh, I do the same thing. I have a inner one, then I have an inner slot. I mean, I feel like it's decent. I think I'll just keep the design the same. So this is all fine. Number of columns. This should be a const. Up there. Number of rows. Then we have an inventory layout. I think we can do this in one pass though. We don't have to do a filter pass because I think what I can do is for bank racks, I will just get this. I will just track this separately. So I'll do like current bank is 0 or only if it's filtered. Yeah, hold on. I'm just thinking. I can do that. Skip rendering if no item in the slot is empty. Yeah, so technically this is gonna force everything. This should force everything to compress, I think. So all of the gaps should get cleared because of how I changed the layout to work once it recompiles. My coffee is empty. Oh, it didn't actually, huh? Because I set it to 0 and then slot index. If slot index. This is for networking. Oh, slot. Bank player slots. Oh, that's the item. Okay. But we should be drawing it to this rectangle, banked rects, current index, and it should be only incremented when we draw a new one. So I'm actually surprised, unless it, sometimes the hot reloader will, it might not be this, but sometimes the hot reloader will like only catch half of the change because I wrote something, saved it, and then the hot reloader starts, and then I change something else and save it, and then, so it could have missed the change. Now it shouldn't be that though, because I had an error, so it wouldn't have compiled until. If still locked. Oh, this wouldn't get skipped. So we're always gonna draw an item. What I thought this did, I thought this skipped drawing the item if it was empty, but it's. This is only if it's still locked. That's like for down here. Let's do the filter check now. Because that'll be the only way to test this. We do have to do this on both sides though. Actually, let me go get my coffee. Let me make a coffee and then we'll finish this. But what we'll have to do is we'll have to loop, once we're looping through, we'll have to read the item for every single slot and position. And then we'll say like, oh, do we need to draw this one? Does this match our filter list? But we only want to do that if the filters are set to something specific. So we'll have to write a helper function for that, I think. And I actually might make the filter list a global, so it's just easier to pass around. But let me make coffee. I'll be right back and then we'll do that. Coffee's brewing. My cat was was sleeping on my lap. I picked her up, put her on my chair, went and made coffee, came back, and then she was still sleeping there, and then picked her up, put her on my lap again. What a sweetheart. All right. Exactly. My cat, little cat pillow. My little cat warming engine. Now she wants food. I think I woke her up. Okay, yes. We're doing the filter. So we will do this. We'll probably add a helper function. It's just gonna return a Boolean. I think it's gonna take in this, wait a second. Does crafting filter have a helper function on it? Rebuild. None enabled. Check recipe. What is this? Oh, because for this one, we're filtering recipes. We're not filtering the bank. But the logic is very similar. So we'll actually do this. I'm gonna rename this. Check recipe. What? Oh. Check recipe. What's your opinion about AI code? Oh, AI and code harnesses. I don't know what a code harness is. A code harness is, but yeah, I mean, I have mixed feelings on AI. I don't know. It's always hard to tell. Sometimes I buy Gemini, like the $20 a month one, and I'll use it to program some stuff like vibe coding to some level. And I think there's two big problems is AI is not so good to where you can just like let it do its own thing 100% and it'll generate like the right code for you. But like it's not that good. So you go and vibe code a bunch and then you have this program that you have no idea how it works and how it's like organized and stuff like that. So you can't go back and like make changes now because it's just like in disarray. So I think if you do use AI to generate code for you, you really have to like be on your game. And I think it's better to tell it what to do rather than tell it what you want, if that makes sense. Like you should have an idea of how you're organizing the things that you're building and how you're organizing data, how your data model is, how data flows through your system, all that stuff you should know. And you should just say like, hey, I need like a linked list implementation, or I need like this hash map that filters this and does this thing as well and has this function that does this thing. So you have to like kind of specify what you want rather than, you have to specify what you want it to build rather than what you want. Because you could be vague and just say like, hey, I need a web app that does blah, 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 blah. And it'll like get there. It'll give you a good prototype, I think, but it's not something that's going to be like maintainable, I think. But in terms of like future projections, maybe it does get better. And at some point it like, does everything. I feel like I've been experiencing and using a lot of AI, but I lose track of the code base, whether it's built by me or AI. AI slop increases so much. Yeah, the thing with AIs is, or just my experience using them, they try to solve like your immediate problem, but they don't have any like taste in terms of modeling things the right way, if that makes sense. So like, it's just hard to have an example. Like I've seen them do things like they'll add a duplicate field of something, like this extra field that should just be like a method that like you have your data structure, right? And based off of that data, what about AI for pixel art? I haven't used it for that, or I've used it for some concept art, but for programming, this programming thing I was mentioning, like you have some data, and let's say there's like some calculation you do that like results like a true or false value. Instead of doing that, they're just gonna like add an extra field that is set as a Boolean, and then they're gonna set it to true or false when they create the data structure. And it's like, I don't want to have like a bunch of denormalized data in my structure. I want to have like the minimum, I want to model the data correctly so that I can do all of the methods that I want on it. And if there's some big performance reason that we do need to denormalize something, then we can denormalize it. But I don't just want to like denormalize everything. So it'll do stuff like that just because it's like short-term thinking. It's like, well, I'm just gonna throw a Boolean field here because that's what we need, and I don't really want to understand everything else in your code. So I'm just gonna like add this new field. So I'm not familiar with Pixel Lab. I've never heard of that before. But I have used what's it called? Gemini has like Nano Banana or something like that. It's called something banana, and it'll generate images for you. And I've used it a little bit, but it doesn't really generate any, doesn't generate anything usable. I have to like redraw it or something, you know, but I don't use AI for Mythfall at all. What is this? Spaced item. What's your opinion about this emoji, the alien one? That's probably my least favorite emoji. I don't know, I'm just kidding. It's funny because now I can just do l.check item. Like an AI would have just copied the code and left it there, but like I realize, oh, this is just this, but with an extra special thing. And it's like, now I can just simplify this. If it's an image generator that has a plugin for Sprite, it helps doing a lot of the first 50%. But it's far from being very good. Yeah. Glorp is pretty good. The company I work at has 100 devs. We have been rolling out Claude code for a while with very good results. However, you need to ensure that you're defining your dev rules, architecture, constraints, guards, rules, standards, and so much more via agents, skills, etc. Letting this will cause issues. And as a dev, you need to understand that poor prompting, context, etc. will result in poor output. Yeah, I mean, it's going to go off and do whatever it wants unless you tell it exactly what you want it to do. In my experience, the thing I think is, unless AI is able to solve 100% of your problems, then there's going to always be that, like, right now, I feel like the percentage is pretty high, but maybe there's like 1% of your code that you have to solve yourself because it's just incapable of figuring it out correctly. And unless you understand your code base, then, or unless you're willing to spend a bunch of time reading the AI generated code to like understand how it solved the problem, then that's just a miserable experience to me, I guess. So I don't know. I'd rather just tell it what to do rather than have it go off and do its own thing, and then just understand a high level architecture where like I don't really care like how one specific function's implemented, but I do care that like this data flows like this through my system, if that makes sense. It's been pretty good at diagnosing compiling issues, compile issues, build breaks, memory leaks, etc. Pretty amazing, to be honest. Yeah. I guess I don't really, I don't know, maybe my systems are not so complicated to where I have problems like that very often. But yeah, like I don't have memory leaks because I use Go, and Go is garbage collected. But yeah, I do think there's a good potential there. Like, I think that it's good to have an AI like scan code base and say like, oh, you could like optimize this thing without changing the functionality. Like, I think those are like pretty net goods. I do think that's a target like product that people are trying to build, I think, as well. Like Google has Jules, which can run that on your code base. Though a lot of times the suggestions are just so like weak that I just don't care to even interact with it very much. But, or like my code base is so in flux that I don't really want it to, I don't really want to focus on like optimizing stuff right now. You know? What's up, Dracula? How you doing? Yeah, I've been trying to use AI for code generation, and it's so time consuming to explain what and how to structure the implement stuff, unless it's a well-defined concept, like telling you write basic awk tree for existing entity system or something. Yeah, like no, I agree. Like to some degree, a programming language is a way to specify how something should work. And if like you have to write so many paragraphs to explain exactly what you want, then it maybe would have just been easier to like write a skeleton of what you want in code and then like have AI fill in the blanks. I do suspect, I don't really use these sorts of languages, but I do suspect that more statically well-defined languages like Rust probably do better for AIs. Like I suspect that JavaScript is like probably the worst. I know it does a lot of JavaScript and it does it pretty well, but I think that that's like maybe one of the worst. I can imagine a large JavaScript project just because there's no compiler to say like, hey, if you did this change, but you forgot to make this fix over here. So it's probably just constant churn of like the user building the system, finding an error, and then having to like fix it, you know? That's what I imagine. Because whenever it messes something up at runtime, it's always on the JavaScript side for me. So then I assume, and then Go, it does pretty good, but it makes a lot of syntax errors and stuff. And the compiler fixes it for me. Or the compiler doesn't fix it, but the compiler tells the AI that it needs to fix something. Like it misses an import or something like that. Whereas in JavaScript, it's just like, now your thing doesn't work. But it doesn't work at runtime, so it's a little bit harder to, you know, validate, I guess. It's hard to, for the AI to validate automatically. Well, it's nice to do using AI to do like static analysis. It's good at identifying possible leaks in my C++, even considering I write in orthodox C++ style typically. I don't know what orthodox C++ means, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty good at doing analysis like that. I do agree. But like, I just feel like, not that I think Rust is like the end all be all of languages, but I think as AIs become more prevalent, I think that having things like memory guaranteed by the compiler and like it's in my opinion, it's better to have, if you're gonna have AI generate code for you, it's better to have the compiler have some way of like doing a formal proof of your program to prove that memory is safe, rather than having the AI like do its best effort, you know? If not, then continue. Let's give this a shot. Basically C with some nice C++ features like namespaces and function overloading. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I haven't written C or C++ in a very long time. This is pretty nice. Blowing down says I guess I can still put this in, right? It's just that I can't see it. What's something we don't have? This maybe? Okay, yeah, this has its own spot. So let's filter and then we'll put this in. and then go back, and it should have gone there. Okay, good. And I can just take these out. Nice. Let me go get my coffee. I'll be right back. All right. Okay, nice. Wait a second. Oh, because I had 2 filters on. I was like, why is there a helmet if I have this filter? Well, that's not bad. All right, let's clean up the display though. I want to make sure that this is balanced on both sides. Because we do a cut left someplace. Thank you, Conjurador, for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. I wonder how this looks if I do this. Oh, okay, that's pretty massive. Yeah, but it seems like there needs to be something on the right. Like I need to add more padding to the right or something. So I cut left 16. I think it's just extra because I think I'm cutting twice on the left. Like I think I do an unpad somewhere. Let me just do filters, bank filters section. I think, yeah. Global filter list. What is this? Oh, this is just a list of equipment types to filter. This is weird. I call it global. Okay. I mean, I could do rect dot cut left, like padding. I think I just need one more padding on the right. I have like a fixed padding system that I do. But I just started hearing that the price of AI is going to be going up because these companies have been bleeding money like crazy, and now I'm afraid to get used to coding agents. They're trying to shift to token-based limits and not giving crazy subsidized token pricing. There's a few tools that keep track of the actual usage cost. Viberank.app. Claude Code leaderboard. Oh, people hook up their own system. $51,000. Oh my gosh. That's absurd. Total spent $1 million. That is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I do feel like it's so tricky to like be 100% sure of this, but I do feel like so what I try to do sometimes is I'll try to work on Mythfall, and then I'll try to like vibe code on the side. And sometimes I think that I've spent so long trying to like have my agent do the right thing that if I just like spent the day working on this thing on the side rather than like vibe coding it, then I would have like saved time, if that makes sense. Like I waste so much time interacting with an AI agent that like if I just programmed it myself, I would have been done already. Not for everything, but for like the core. There's always like the core of your program, and then there's like little mini packages you have to do. Like maybe you need to interact with an API, and like I don't really want to spend time writing an API layer, and that's pretty easy to do. So like I think stuff like that's a good fit for AI right now. But like the core of your application, I think you really have to do yourself. Or at least you really have to define it yourself. I just think AIs aren't going to do a good job. Left to their own devices, I mean. They don't pay that, but it costs Anthropic that. Oh, interesting. Those people are on subscriptions though. That's crazy. So what, they're paying $200 a month, but they're able to use $51,000 of actual credits. Yeah, so like now imagine if they had to actually spend $51,000 for like whatever like web app they were building. You know, like they're not going to do that. Like if it truly does cost that much, then it almost costs more than like a human to some degree. So you're going to use agents very selectively, I think. Like if I wasn't on a subscription, I would not be using an AI as much as I am. But because I'm paying for it monthly, it's like, well, I may as well just like have this thing running in the background. Because if I'm not using it, then I'm losing money on my subscription, you know? But I pay for the Google one, and they've just been slowly like cutting how much you can do. So like it runs out of tokens faster, it resets slower, and they just continually slowly do that over time. That's what they've been doing. I'm spending time with AI. I spent way too much time trying to utilize agents. After a week, I realized I only got like 2 days of work done. Yeah, well, it's like you get to the point in some stuff where like I'm vibe coding like a little programming language on the side, and like, man, this thing's just ballooned to like so much complexity. And the problem with a compiler is that I don't really know how to build a compiler that well. So like some of it's a little bit outside of my like expertise, and but man, it's just gotten so complicated, and like I'll try to add some simple feature and it just won't be able to do it. So it's like, how many days do I spend just like saying like, all right, continue working to try to fix all of these tests? Because it's like, it's a compiler, so you can write really well-defined tests to test out features. It's like, how many weeks do I spend doing that, you know? And I at some point it's like, maybe I just give up on this. Like maybe the right approach is just me building it myself. I don't know. Because I built smaller languages, but I never built one like that was this complicated. But not that I'm building it, it's like the AI is building it. And it gets pretty far, but like at some point it's unable to solve these problems that I need solved, and now I have to understand it, but I don't have time to. Because if I wrote it, I would have just done a better job and it wouldn't have had these problems, you know? Like I just would have been more organized. I just know I would have. Like in terms of code quality, I just would have produced better code, so I wouldn't have had the issues that an AI is going to fall into. I tried using anti-gravity and couldn't even finish a single session modifying a code before it was saying I reached my limit. Yeah, I mean that, like when I first purchased it, it was like almost infinite. But now it's gotten so little that it's like really the only way to use it without hitting your limit is to tell it like, hey, I need you to like build this one specific thing and do nothing more. Which is maybe the correct way to do it anyways, you know? So I don't know. But I mean, who knows how it's all going to end up. Okay, this looks pretty symmetric. I do kind of want this to be a little higher. I think if I for some reason I want this to line up. And I think it's caused by this pad rect having padding at the top, which I want to like undo that. I either want to undo that or I want to just do like this. I want to do this is I can't remember how I specify this. I think I do, this is like the left, this is the bottom, this is the right, and this is the top. I'm pretty sure that's how I specify my padding rectangles. Yeah, anti-gravity is also just a memory hog. I mean, the crazy thing is these tools are like pretty bad. There we go. That's pretty nice. UIs are just tricky, in my opinion. I'm talking about Mythfall here. Yeah, at some point you just have to be like, all right, I manually want this to be like 2 pixels higher. Unless you have like a full-fledged layout system, which I do not have. Okay, I mean, this works. It does sound like it's AIs are have been pretty good at finding security vulnerabilities, which is good, I think. But also, I think it's a little bit of an effect of people have this ability now to do it, and so they're like, people are trying things with AIs, and they're just like seeing what comes out of it. Like, I do think if you sat a person down and like told them, hey, like scour this code base and try to find vulnerabilities, they would eventually find them. Maybe not as quickly, but I think that there's vulnerabilities because people aren't really looking for them. At least that sounds like the worst job ever to me personally. Obviously everyone's got their own preference of what they like doing, but okay. Should I make the bank wider? I mean, it fits pretty well, I feel like. I'll leave it. Otherwise, it's just going to be larger gaps on the left and right, I think. All right. That's that. Okay. Added bank filters. Push. Put this in my to-do list. I actually didn't have a bullet point for this. bonk filters. I'm just reading through deciding what I want to do. I did have an idea for a new quest. It's a pretty simple quest. One thing I like the quests I've built so far, but I'm worried that I'm gonna fall in this trap of like building just super simple quests that don't really like add anything interesting, if that makes sense. Obviously, a lot of the early ones are kind of tutorial quests, but I could redo the succubus boss fight. It's something that I wanted to do. Because one, it's way too easy, and then two, there was some pause segments I needed to add, but I did actually add those already. You know what I want to? You know what I want to redo? I want to redo the automaton. Sorry, what's it called? The it's not the automaton destroyer, but it's the one that drops that dungeon. The set piece boss, the cube. Let's redo that boss fight, because that's our super weak one. That's probably one of the worst set pieces in the entire game. Ancient Guardian is what it's called. I guess let's run over them to find one, and then we'll redo it. The problem is it just kind of sits there. It like doesn't move. I think it's okay to not have a mobile boss, but I need to make some part of it mobile, you know? Let me get my cat some food. I'll be right back. All right. Of course, I give my cat food, and then she doesn't even want it. All right, here's one. The arena is pretty cool. Let me take the boots off so I'm not... Like, these are cool attacks. Those actually look super cool now that the fade out effect is there. The problem is he just doesn't move, so there's no like he never moves, and then he also just repeats the same like 3 attacks the whole time. dun, 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 dun. What could we do? Obviously, laser beams are a target we could do. We'd also do like more minion type phases as well. Hmm. And the problem is I don't really have like a vibe that I want to hit for this, which always makes it a little bit trickier to come up with stuff. It's also a fairly early on boss, so I can't make it too hard. Okay. Let's see what his state machine does. Yeah, he's like a one phase boss. He just has I guess I had multiple, but he just switches between 3 different attacks or 2. Shoot 2, shoot 3. Oh, and then he shoots his stun before he's deciding. So he's got 3 different attacks. Okay. Biome drops laser stuff. Yeah, I could definitely do lasers. Yeah, lasers would hurt. They'd hurt you at least. No, I mean, we can definitely do lasers. I'm trying to think of how I would piece those together. There's that one monster, the guy with the wrench. Not the little wrench guy, the big wrench guy. Or no, the knight, this guy. I could do a pattern like this. But just do the second half. So he's not throwing it on you, he's just throwing it around. Bosses are just tricky. It's tricky because I have so many bosses and I don't want to make bosses that are just doing the same thing as other ones. Into boss to rub rum. Intro boss. I don't know what rub rum is though. Is that a game? We could definitely do a lot more like geometric patterns. It's just weird when he doesn't move. I don't really know how to move him. Other than maybe like circling, like I could make him circle or something like that. He could circle, he could... Do I have a square movement pattern? I guess I could write one. I don't really have a behavior for it, but it wouldn't be that hard, I don't think. You could just like zip around like a square. Oh, intro boss to the rubrum. Oh, sorry, I saw rub rum because it was capitalized. It was Pascal case. I thought that was like a game or something, some other game. The rubrum boss, yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely could. I could do stuff like that, but simpler. I suck at typing when I'm highly caffeinated. I almost wonder if this would be an interesting boss who just moves in specific patterns. And shoots really slow bullets that just do like a coverage. I'll do a coverage. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely do lasers. I just don't know how to move him yet. I guess I could just do circles and stuff. Or have him just randomly like bob around. It's just too static, I feel like. I think that makes boss fights really boring. Let's just do that. Let's add a little bit of motion to him. We'll just have him like bob around. Move. Okay, so these all have movement. I think I have one called this is too fast. We'll do like a 50. That seems fine. And then we'll do for like 1,000 milliseconds. I guess we need to add to the bucket. Or no, we won't put it in the same bucket, so then it'll then these go too fast, I think. Let's do for 2 seconds, and we'll also make it move. But I think these bullets go a little bit too fast then. I think I prefer him moving. Yeah, because of this. Let's just try that. It was a little bit more interesting. Do I make these slower? Maybe I make them a little bit slower. Let's just try. Oh, this is super old code. This is before I even had like now I make Lambda functions that implement these. Speed is set by dist function. Expand single. Oh, yeah. Let's just see how this looks. This is for the 2. Oh, this is the 1 loop, I think. Ring. We'll just do both of them, I guess. That's the stun shot. They don't go as far now. I might do a balance. I might do let's go 150. Maybe 200 is the right number. It didn't feel bad. It just spaces you pretty far. Shot pattern looks very satisfying. Yeah. Man, I have really bad like allergies today. It's really not bad. This could be like a first phase, I think. So make this a phase 1. Well, hold on. Oh, this is Elder Scarab. I was looking at that. We'll do health below like 0.7. Then we'll go to phase 2. And I'll have to invent whatever this is going to be. How is this an error? Oh, because there's nothing passed in. That's fine. Let's see. What could we do for phase 2? Sorry, I'm thinking like maybe minions. Like a bunch of weak minions. Or he does like a circle thing. Maybe he circles and I really like the succubus phase when she like when she circles, but she drops those little black things that kind of space you. So you're trying to like be in front of her in the circle, but you're also running back into her attacks that she's leaving behind. And it's an interesting pattern. And also this arena has pretty good spacing in it too. It's pretty large. Let's do this. I just had an idea. We'll spawn it. This will be a minion phase. We'll spawn a minion in the center. We'll spawn a minion in the center, and then he's gonna circle and try to protect it, I think. And you have to attack the minion because he's gonna become invulnerable, and we'll do that. Or it's like move room, position. That'll just move him to the center. How is this an error though? Unless I'm missing boss, this is P1. Didn't I do this parenthesis? All right, let me just see if this lines up. Oh, this? I guess I'm just missing a... Somewhere I've misaligned my opens and closes. This seems all right. But there's no clothing parentheses for this. Oh, this is probably the up here, and then these go over here. Yeah. Because we're buzzing, and then we're also, yeah, this is right. Okay. Unfortunately, I need to move here, and then I need to, then I can spawn, we'll also do like add, add status effect. Set status. Oops, this will go up here. We'll do invulnerable. So he's gonna be invulnerable till you destroy the minion. What else? We need to do art for this. So he's gonna move to the middle, become invulnerable, then go next, and then we'll do phase 2, enter 2. Spawn minions. I'll do spawn minion. I guess I can do this one, can't I? I'm gonna do spawn minion list though. And this one takes a list of this. Mob type offset. So it's going to spawn at 0, 0, which is just going to be on top of him pretty much. And then we need a monster for this. I actually don't really have one yet. We'll just write to do here. And then we'll fill that in later. But it's going to spawn a minion, and then he's going to transition again. So invulnerable, then spawn a minion, and then transition. And then in here, we'll have a circle. And we'll set these fields. Distance, maybe, let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 7. Do 7 tiles. I'm gonna put the 7 in front. Tick period, I usually do 200, so that's a good starting point. Then this doesn't really matter, so we'll just do it 0. That's just if I want to offset multiple mobs at different, phases, I guess. Okay, then we have phase 2, so we're circling, and we'll obviously add an attack for that, but let's add this monster first. I don't really know what it should look like though. Let's just go ahead and reuse this art, and then we'll I'll draw something eventually. So we'll do Or I can do a minion here. Or I can do set P Elder Scarab. We'll copy this. I guess it will have an attack. So yeah, we'll just copy all that. I'm just gonna say Ancient Guardian Minion. I don't really know what to call this. Mob Ancient Cube. We'll obviously have to fill this stuff out once we have that. This will be Forgotten Vale. Forgotten Grove. Wait, what's that? Wait, do I have a dungeon called Forgotten Grove and I have a biome called Forgotten Vale? Oh, I think this is Forgotten. I think I just typoed this. This might need more health. We might have to set that, but default bot vision. That's fine. I don't think I'm gonna add, I'm just gonna shoot all the time. This is actually not gonna move at all. He's only gonna shoot. I'll have to plan on his weapon, obviously, but I think I just want him to shoot this attack though, this stun attack. Let's just try to do that. I will, however, add that, and I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna comment that out. I think that's everything. Let me simplify this. I'm just gonna take the phase 1, so he's gonna go straight to phase 2. I'm gonna comment that out, just so we'll go to phase 2, and then we can test the second phase. If it reloads. Oh, I forgot to do this. All right. Yeah. I guess I finished building. Okay, perfect. I think I'm delaying too long. Also, that circle's too tight. This is like where I want the player to be in that circle. So I'm gonna make it double the 7. I'm gonna do 14. We'll try 14. This guy. I'm also gonna change this to do like 200 times a millisecond. It's funny because I do the circles based off of period. The further out you go, the faster he ends up moving. I think this is going to end up being too fast though. Actually, that might be okay. Like this will be the trick though. You're dodging these stuns and then also this guy's doing an attack as well. Let's see. I'm going to leave the pace until I figure out what weapon he's going to be shooting while he circles. This, I actually might need to make this a slightly different one. I'm gonna do something similar to this, but I'm gonna make it a custom weapon. I think it's just gonna be too, I think it's gonna be too hard at that rate. So we'll do this, do that, and then we'll do, where's the stun? Yeah, this is the projectile. This is a pretty simple pattern. It's just gonna be, that's the proj. And then we do a list sequencer, but I might make it a geometric sequencer. And then we'll do an attack circle with that projectile. And we'll do, how many do I do on this one? 4. Oh no, hold on. I do unnamed circle. I do 14. We'll do 10, a little bit less. Let me just copy these fields. This is how many we want to run. We'll just, it doesn't really matter because we're going to be looping through, but we'll do 10 of them, I guess. We'll do a delay of longer. That's a 16, so we'll do 24. I think 32 would be too long. We'll try 24 and we'll move from there. Offset 1 divided by 10 divided by 2. That's basically just taking a full circle, dividing it by the number of projectiles, and then dividing it in half so that you do half of a jump. So we can just do this. Okay. I'm pretty sure I wired this up already. I'm gonna make this a 1 second cooldown because I want this to be pretty continual, I think. Oh, I want to decrease the speed. Raj.speed. We're gonna do 70. We'll do 60. That's pretty gappy though. I mean, it's definitely super dodgeable. It's a little, the flow is a little broken though. Actually, now that they're slower, I need to make the gap a little bit bigger. Like that's very tricky. It's just super tight. So we'll go up on gap. We'll go 32 and we'll do, now let's try that. I'm gonna make this some kind of like blue charge thing, I think. Maybe he charges up and does some other attack. The problem is the outside guy needs to, he almost like is losing pace with you. But maybe that's okay. I need to decide his pattern, I guess, first. Okay. I think it's a good start for that one. Don't want the gap a little bit bigger. We'll leave it there though. Okay. Now this guy needs an attack. Trying to think. I want something floaty, like I like the succubus one. I can't remember how I built it though. Let me just see when she circles. Tracer, moving explosions, weapons circle. Might be this one actually. This is the explosions. This is the ring. It's like a slow attack. Where does this come from? I think this is it. I'm just trying to understand how it works though. Rotating ring projectile generator. We do 4 of them. Oh, I think I understand. Let's just try. I'm just curious if I throw this on him. Can I do that? And that would just work. Just to prototype it. Circle. That's this one. All right. Thank you, Jugga Joe, for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Welcome. This is a very tough, because you have to be attacking him. Also, these don't make it so far to like impact you. They also rotate kind of awkwardly. The circle pace on the succubus might just be like just so right that it lets them line up. I'm gonna decrease the bolt projectile count here, I think. Wait, where was it? Yeah, here. We'll go to 8. We'll go to 7. And then I wonder if I just do a circle. Yeah, let me just try to do a regular circle. I'm just gonna do I'm gonna copy slow attack. I'm gonna copy this one. We need a specific projectile that we're using. We are using the orb black red. We can keep, maybe we'll do a little slightly faster. Attack circle. This is not going to be a geometric though. This is going to be a list. Sequencer. This is just going to do 1 attack. And we'll do that, I think. One thing I do like about the succubus ring though attack is that it kind of rotates, so it kind of like floats around a little bit. Like they're kind of just like floating a little bit arbitrarily. They float a little bit too fast though. Whereas these are very like straight shots. I'm gonna make them bigger. I'm gonna do the large version. Also, we need more. And then we'll do, dare I do 12? Let's see. The one problem is it's like better to just be way away from it. Yeah, I feel like there's no circle, there's no reason to circle. There's just, you just stay in one spot and like kind of dodge through. I don't love it. I think it's pace up and then we'll do duration longer. I don't remember what I usually set this to. I think it's like 4 seconds or something. Yeah, 4 seconds. Do 6 seconds. Seek. And I think I'm gonna make them go. Let's do an audible. Let's do this. I guess we can keep this stuff. All right, we'll do that. I'm gonna make the count. The count's for speed. That we'll do a longer duration. I'm gonna have to find the sweet spot, but we'll do 16 seconds maybe. Tick period. I'm gonna go higher, much higher, so it floats slower. Tick period. Oh, this is the distance though. To 64. We'll make this 8 seconds. Let's see how this looks. I could also bring him in closer. Let's, here's what we'll do. We can change the color eventually, but I really prefer to get the pattern right. I think I want to do something like this though. I want to bring him in. I'm going to bring him in 2 tiles. I'm going to make him orbit slower. I'm going to make the bullets last longer by a lot, I think. $24. Let's try that, I guess. I'm trying to get the player, like the problem is the bolts don't last nearly as long as they need to. Okay, maybe it'll be better actually now that it's reset. I guess I could just rotate fast maybe. I just don't really know. I'm not really sure like what the right combination of rotation speed plus bullet pattern gives me like this, the feature that I want. Like I want the player to have to weave through bullets, but right now the player doesn't have to weave through bullets. But also I feel like you can just stand here and like whatever. Like you don't need to necessarily, my game froze. The mini cube. Yeah, I'm probably gonna make. I'm gonna redo the art probably, but I can make it a cube shape. I'm gonna make it look different though. Oh, he's pausing. We want him to just keep going. All right, let's see how this looks. This is not bad. The problem is it's free. It's they're disappearing like as you're getting to them, which I guess does like open the door for this sort of movement pattern, which is nice because this is kind of what I was trying to get the player to do. Let me see if I just stand still, what happens. Yeah, it's like pretty difficult. Like I'm pretty sure you're gonna get stunned and die. Like usually you want there to be like a solution to the pattern for these earlier ones. How much damage do they do? Out of a perspective, no Mythfall, green armor. Yeah, I mean they're gonna do whatever damage level is for Forgotten Grove. Yeah, you can like kind of squeeze through. It's a lot of bullets though. Bum, bum, bum. I'm definitely getting hit. I might need to reduce the rate at which I attack. Or increase the delay. Let's try that. Might be the blue shooting might be a little bit too rapid, to be honest. Let's go to the minion and see. Well, increase the delay to 40. I wonder if I can decrease his movement speed. Yeah, at least the blue ones aren't all over. I do kind of feel like this is a pretty high risk fight though, because you really have to get in there. There's a lot of bullets. I wonder how hard it is to, if I'm out here, to get in. Not that bad, I guess. You just kind of run in. But also like recall wise, is there any like, yeah, I mean, you can get out. As long as you get to like kind of a safe spot, you just go like here and you're pretty good. Goes over here. Oop. Let's change the colors. This is maybe a good base too. It's a little much, I feel like. Maybe he does these too frequently still. I'm gonna decrease that. Go to 40. Okay. And then we'll do, these should be red. And we'll try to make them large as well. Though there already are a lot of bullets, so. It's not exactly the I might make them small. Big projectiles always look better to me though. But I think that we should do small here. All right, let's do the transition out of this phase now. Wait. Or transition next. Minion count. I don't remember what it is, minion. Let's just type minion and see what autocomplete comes to. Oh, it's child count. Below 1. So when you destroy the child, it'll transition to the next stage, which will be state P2 enter. Then we'll have a P2, or sorry, P3. And this one's got a clear all status. We'll do 100 milliseconds to clear the status. This happens on enter though, so it doesn't really matter. But a brief pause, and maybe we'll do 500. What could happen next? This will be the final stage probably. So I'm gonna make this first half do half of your health. We'll do 5.5. So half, first half, then a minion phase, then the second half will be the final thing. What can we do here? We can certainly move him to the middle. Bum, bum. Let's think here. I'm thinking he could go to the middle and start doing laser beams and then also spawn like an orbiting projectile that you have to dodge. So he just shoots lasers at you and like a fan of lasers maybe. A fan of lasers. Then you get kind of some orbiting dodge thing. It could work. Let's do that. Oops. Do. Who do I want to steal the orbiters from? Is this using Raylib or are you rock coding this in Golang? I use Golang. I don't use Raylib, though I do think Raylib is a good library. I built for WebAssembly and there's not really, well, there at the time when I started this, there wasn't really a great way to use Raylib with WebAssembly. But I think someone's actually kind of come up with one. So, but I wrote my stuff on top of OpenGL and WebGL. But I just wrote like a pretty simple like rendering engine, I guess. The rendering library take? I mean, I probably wrote one, then I had to write a new one because like you inevitably like write it and then you're like, well, that was like a really bad attempt, and then you have to rewrite it again. So I don't really know how long. Maybe the first like I've worked on this project for 4-ish years, so maybe the first year and a half I was pretty deep in doing rendering stuff. I mean, at that point, it's pretty much like I need to draw a tile map. Like these are the sorts of problems you're solving at that point early on. How do I draw sprites? And then you realize like, oh, I need to draw like a huge map with a bunch of trees. So like, how do I make sure that that's doable on a client? And yeah, like that takes about a year or so, I think. And then there's like text rendering and UI rendering and all that sort of stuff that kind of comes together one at a time. But I'm not really a huge fan of doing rendering code, to be honest. So now that I know how it works, it's I kind of wish I didn't have to maintain it, if that makes sense. But UI and text rendering is so annoying to build from scratch. Yeah, I mean, I just follow tutorials like on how to do it, and getting all of the AI refactor to Ebbet engine. I don't know if I can switch over at this point. I think if I switch to anything, I'd switch to Raylib. I don't like when rendering libraries like take your main loop and force you into a certain pattern, which is why I didn't use Ebbet engine or Ebbet at the time. But I also like, I don't know if this is a performance thing. It seems like it would be, but I'm able to use the depth buffer because my render is 3D. It's not 2D. So every sprite has a Z index. So I can do a depth buffer that you can walk in front of and behind it. Like he's in front of the cube now, and now he's behind the cube. And doing that on the CPU seems really slow, but I don't know, maybe there's a way to do it. Oh, the animation has I just realized that I only animated one of the frames with the green over top. It's weird. It's weird. This is a 2-frame animation. That's actually super surprising to me because it's not really doing anything. Oh, because I animate that. Okay. Or hold on. Let's do this. I'm just going to copy this and paste the bottom in. Yeah, it's nice to have the depth buffer for distance sorting stuff. I'm actually surprised it's not. I thought monster sprites could hot reload. Maybe they can't. I bet if I leave and come back though, it'll be correct, I think. There we go. Okay, what did I say I was gonna do for this? I said I was gonna do, oh yeah, he's gonna spawn orbiter, shoot laser beams at you, and maybe buzz around, I don't know. I think movement's just always better. I think things are just always more fun when it moves around a little bit. We'll do a higher speed move, buzz though. We'll do like 70 and we'll do 3 tiles and we'll do 1 second for that. And then we'll do, I'm gonna take, I know he shoots lasers or beam or something. That's a circle. Or actually, I'm gonna go to the tutorial. Dungeon. Because this guy definitely does. Boss. Beam. Yeah, we'll do a fan. Weapon beam, fan. Did I do blue? I'm feeling red. Ah, whatever, we'll do blue. Attack fan 3. Did I change this? I don't know. Let's just copy this one. Okay. So he'll constantly do that. How am I going to do this? He'll have to do 1 attack. I might need to do a move bucket. And I'll have to have him state. We'll do like a 1 state. Oops. Oh, it's bh.attack count 1. We'll do like a 2 seconds. I might make this 0 second cooldown. No, we'll do a 1 second because I think that the beam needs to shoot. Okay. We'll do a 2 second cooldown and then we'll do now we'll see what this looks like. But he should be shooting and moving now. I might put this actually into this state. So how do you celebrate Norway's Constitution Day yesterday, buddy? Just in the traditional, I celebrated in the traditional way. How did you celebrate it? Alcohol. Very traditional. No, yesterday I had to help someone move. So it was a long and exhausting day. Okay, he needs to, it sucks because it looks so strange now. Nope. Not them. I hate how the beam looks for floating monsters. I need there needs to be like a source. But I think I can clean that up in the future because it'll clean up for all the beams. I'm just gonna add some little circle there or something. It's not bad. So he shoots and like bounces someplace and then shoots again, then bounces someplace. The tricky part though is how to do an orbiting system on top of this. Because he needs to be in a specific spot. Actually, maybe I can just shoot to a static position, but you can't shoot to 0, 0. Like you can't, I guess you could shoot to your spawn position though. Maybe you target spawn position. And the orbiters come out of that. Potentially. My idea was to have orbiters that shoot circles or something like that. I mean, I guess I could just have a he moves to the center. Imagine the staff doing 3 shots or an upgrade doing it. And the last staff, the eye with the core shoots 360 lasers. Could you imagine? I'll do speed 70. Oops. Oops. Okay. We'll do state 4. And inside of here, we need a new weapon. Let's go to Awakened. I'm surprised there's nothing. Outer Ring. I guess I call it this. Weapon. Ancient Guardian. Oh, it's Ancient Guardian weapon is how I do it. Weapon? Oh no, I do weapon. I don't know what I do. Orbiter. I can also just steal these from the resonance chambers. But let's start with this, and then we'll, I need a projectile here. We'll do like proj. Oh wait, no, this is the final shot, I think. This needs to be, I just got one. We'll do this. We will do, however, I thought I had a slow moving one. Oh, I was doing this. Let's do that. What's up, Dozy? How's it going? Okay, let's see how this looks. Man, that was a lot of moving stuff around. The the anchor point's wrong on this too. What? Oops. I need to transition next. So we do a well, technically this should be the first one, shouldn't it? He shoots this. Then you should move. Then you should move for a bit. Then you should laser beam. Laser beam, move a few times, and then come back. This is move from position. We'll have to wait for a little while for the all of these projectiles to die. Oh my golly. Oh, it's just he's just spawning them too quickly, I think. Because what I need to do is I need to have a state where this we bounce between these two. Or sorry, yeah, we bounce between these two. One, two. And we'll have to transition out of this after a time. Or transition next. After time, we'll do like 20. I'm gonna do 10 seconds. That does mean though that this one, these guys should only last for 10 seconds then. All right, let's see how this looks once these guys, those ones eventually pop. Obviously, this is way too many bullets, but perfectly balanced encounter. I think it's timing out correctly now. So this will be the first. This is too many bullets because this is the one from Awakened, but I just want to make sure that they spawn close. We're gonna just do 2 of these, I think. And I think these need to live a little bit longer. Like 14 seconds maybe? Because we do 10 and then we do 1 second and then we do shoot him again. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just have to see. It's always tricky. Also, I'm forgetting to put the bullet clear attacks in the transition phases. So I'll have to add those as well. Okay, that's a little early. Or let's just check for the next one. We don't want to see it overlap, but we want them to be kind of continual, if that makes sense. Okay, then he didn't go to the room center. He should be going to move room position. He should never get that far away. Let's go ahead and add the clears. I can't remember what it's called. This guy definitely has it though. Or no, sorry, this one. Or Awakened does. Clear. Clear shoot. Sorry, I'm gonna have to uncomment this. This stuff happens, and then we go here. We'll do a clear shoot so that everything just pops instantly. Then phase 2, then in here we'll do another pop. Okay. P3, enter P3. Okay, let's see how this looks now. On your server side of things, is it just a lot of timers that sync clients? Is that how it works? The game is deterministic, so things aren't really timer based. They're more like tick based. So it doesn't really matter that, like, to some degree, it doesn't really matter that the client and server execute the same physics at the same exact time. It just matters that that it's like relatively close, and that they agree on the result of the physics simulation. If that makes sense. And then that's for like bullets mostly, but then for like picking things up, that's like 100% server sided. So like you just have to wait for the whole round trip of you saying, hey, I want to pick this item up, and then server sending like, okay, here's your new, like it worked or it didn't work or whatever. So, but for the bullet simulations, it's deterministic. This might be too many bullets still. I think the timing of shooting them is good though. Also, I don't really see him getting back to the middle. Am I missing something here? Oh, he does get to the middle. Okay, good. Let's reduce the number of bullets per circle. Where are you? Not that one. It's actually this one. I don't know why I'm using my mouse. Okay, then these guys shoot a... Let's try 12. Thank you, Lazunga, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. Okay, now the clears are at least in place so we can test more easily, I guess, which is nice. Yeah, this is still very tricky. There's just so many bullets floating around. I might make them slower. It's just hard because you get stuck inside a laser beam and then bullets are kind of like flying at you. I'm gonna make the bullets slower, I think. Let's go 50, and we'll make them live longer because they're not gonna go as far. And then I'm gonna increase the timer duration, which is how fast they're shooting, to 1200 milliseconds, I think. Let's try that. It's such a balance of like, you make the bullets move slower, that means there's gonna be more bullets on the screen, so then you have to make them shoot slower as well and live longer. Because also keep in mind, I think this is like a 2 skull area, so it's not like supposed to be end game level difficulty of dodging. Dun, dun, dun. At least there's no stuns in this phase. It is still challenging though. I do think it'll be easier within a group just because you might not aggro it, so you might not be the one who's getting laser beamed. And if you're not the one being laser beamed, then dodging is easier. Just you have to only dodge the red bullets. All right, let's do a fight test. Or let's do a full. I'm just gonna go through it, and then we'll do like a balance test. But right now I'm just gonna use my cheats. Those guys got way too little health. Also, yeah, I guess just because I have so much damage. This is not bad, actually. Because you do kind of have to like balance both dodges. This guy needs more health though, so let's give him more health. He needs to have like 1,000 health, I think. You should make an encounter where you have to pick up something that bounces the attacks back. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know exactly how I would do that. I guess I could make bullets, special bullets that if you hit them or something, they shoot back, and then have the monster like throw those bullets at you. Or something like that, I don't know. What did I say I was gonna do? I got so distracted. Oh yeah, I was gonna give him more health. That's right. Minion, minion, minion. That's at the end. What did I give it? Oh, 120. What's the boss get? Only 800. That's actually crazy. Oh, this has the wrong name. This is gonna be, I don't know. I'm gonna give him 200, I guess. It just feels low, but I think that, I don't know. I might have to do a balance pass though for damage wise eventually. So we'll just do that for now. And this seems fine. That is a bit of a long entry delay. Why is that? Excuse me. Why the long entry delay? Let's see. So we clear status 500 milliseconds and then we wait. So let's just do that 100. But also we move room position here. So I'm just gonna take that away. We'll just do clear, clear, and yeah, we'll do 100 milliseconds, that's fine. And then we'll do, no, I think I can't mess that up, can I? I could also enter immediately and then just put this, like maybe the play is to do this. You enter, I make this like a whole second. You enter with the orbiter attack, then you do your beam section, and then you move to the room position to redo this. Let's do that. That works better. Okay. Let's make sure it reloads and then we can investigate. Ba-dum, 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 bum, bum. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. Okay, there's that one. We got our minion. It doesn't move to the middle though. Oh, because I took it out. All right, let's try that again. Actually, I think that's gonna be fine. Let's go ahead and do kit chlorolite. All right, let's do this. I think I maybe should have waited for things to reset. Okay, let's try this. Or how maxed out am I? I don't remember this account. Yeah, maybe like, but chlorolite, this is a pretty weak setup, I think, and I have no skill points. So I'm gonna call it pretty even in terms of like balance wise. That's not good. Also have a ton of food, so. That was a bad dodge. My game froze. My hot reloader sometimes goes in the middle of yeah, I mean, like, this is the thing. You're not gonna do this complicated run around thing. You're gonna try to
This is a fun phase though. I like this one already. The minion one's a little weak, but the problem for these earlier fights is that things just don't have that much health. So as soon as you get like kind of high damage, these all become super easy. So I don't know. It kind of is what it is, I guess, but at least that's an improvement over what it was, because before it just like literally would sit there and spam the same 2 attacks. So we're getting better. I don't even think I had any stats, did I? Yeah, I was completely zeroed. Yeah, I think that I think I've balanced up to like here. And this is a new, or not new, but it's things need to be rebalanced. Let's just say that. I'm gonna have to do that next patch though. I'm gonna try to get a patch out tomorrow, I think, to fix the questing bug and then also add the new quest. And then obviously this will fall in there as well. And there's a few other bugs that needed to get fixed as well. Those ones are done though. So we also added the bank filters too, so that's good. Of course, I forgot to commit that, I guess, but whatever. Oops. Add bank filters and fix ancient guardian. I always type Garad, guardian, boss, or set piece, boss fight. Okay, that's an improvement at least. One other thing I just wanted to take a peek at was what's it called? I wanted to look at the darker biomes. Because I might want to add some like glowing plants. If it's, because I think that a lot of the feedback I get is that it's just too hard to see in them. What's up, Chris? How's it going, man? I need to cheat. There we go. I don't know, like on my screen, it doesn't look that dark. This is definitely the darkest one. I guess this one, I could add some sort of like purple glowing things. Maybe like some floating spirit orbs or something. Like in the monk one, I have these, what's it called? Oh, I thought this was Brimfang Wilds, Brimfang Wilds, Brimfang Wilds, Scorch Summit, Whispering Cliffs. You like a ghost lighting? Yeah. Like you mean light, make the ghosts glow? I could add a glow to the ghosts. Like these are a little orange light. I could do something like this, but it's a little like purple flame and put it inside of Twilight Forest. I could also just scatter candles too. Like in the Awakened dungeon, there's a bunch of candles. I could just have candles. Like this one could technically glow because it does have candles on it, but some of them shouldn't glow, I don't think. Yeah, it's just hard because on my screen it looks fine. Like everything's very visible. But I could definitely make the ghosts glow and but like if I added the glow light, then I'd probably want to make it darker, which is kind of going against my goal. What's up, Roger? Do you think Twilight Forest is too dark? Is it not called Twilight Forest? Oh, it's called Haunted. have a decoration. Oh, this is a single object. Yeah, let's do this. This is a cluster. We'll also do gen.place single. And we'll add a kind of like we do this, but I must have some for what's it called? Candles. Oops. Town candles. What is that? But I also have my brightness stuff turned higher, maybe. Okay. Maybe it's people using HDR monitors. Yeah, I guess it could be. Let's see this though. We'll add this. I actually don't know what these are, but I wonder if they're the candles I used for the dungeon. And I mean, lighting obviously just adds a lot of ambience too, which is nice. I'm gonna be completely honest right now. I don't even know if I know what an HDR monitor is. High definition resolution. I have no idea. High def rendering. Yeah, I have a pretty crappy monitor, I think. Oh, high dynamic range. Okay. We can close this. Hold on. Like that looks good, I think. Like little things like this. And I can add some purple lights as well. Oh, that's kind of a nice little drop. I think some of these items are just too easy to get. Like getting something like this, just randomly, like that I feel like is kind of... in the late game at least. Early game, I think it's better to drop items, like full items, but late game, I think it's gotta be more crafting focused. Yes, use the lighting with HDR. Is it a lot darker? Like what, see, I got another Paragon ring. That's ridiculous. Maybe I should buy a monitor. It just sucks to buy a monitor only to use it for testing like rendering stuff, but I don't really see it another way. It's just hard to test stuff that I can't see from my own eyes. Also, man, that's a lot of ectoplasm. Or no, this is obsidian. Oh, that's ectoplasm. Never mind. Okay, let's add a glow to each ghost, just in their color. We'll just copy the we'll copy the lighting from this. Default light small. And we'll go to, what's it called? Twilight. We have a blue ghost. So we need to add, I think it's called components. Oh, add component. So I'm just deciding how I want to do this. I think I'm just gonna put the light inside of here. This has got to be blue. I might take this from colors. I'm just gonna do colors. Well, hold on. Also, what is this? This is the, that's the sprite. The next one's the size, the variance. That's for flickering, which I think I'm gonna make 0 actually. And then the color. The problem is the coloring is super strange. Hold on. Is it though? Because it's a multiplied layer, like the layer gets multiplied. Let's just try setting the color to like colors dot blue 3, or it's U8 blue 3, blue, red. Oh wait, I should have copied the whole thing. Red. And then white. White? I mean, that's what I do for these, right? All right. I need to restart though. My HDR monitor isn't the best, but it makes the blacks like true black one nits, and then the lighting props brighter. Oh, I see. So it just makes darks a little bit darker. Yeah, I think I need a brighter red here. The blue is actually fine, I think. Blue, red 3. We'll do red 4. That's just the red, the 4th red in my palette. The radius is massive, yeah. I might make these a little bit alpha though. Like this is the light, this is the lighting layer. So it is very large, but if I make it a little bit less, what's it called, then thank you, Big Gear Energy, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. Sorry, I need to get rid of some of these projectiles. Oh no, I want to kill that one. Hello, welcome. For me, it's still visible on HDR, but the lighting you're adding really makes the visuals pop more. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm gonna do or what are these lights? It's funny because these ones are full FF, but this is the alpha layer, the 4th number is. Like I almost feel like I want these to be more like less impactful. It's hard to explain. Like I want them to be washed out white a little bit more. Maybe I want them to be desaturated. Yeah, you can ask a question. Like here, I make it, I add a glow or I add a light, but I make it 189, which I don't know why I pick 189, but it just makes it softer. Let's just go ahead. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and just say like glow red. It's gonna be this dot molt dot glm dot alpha 0.5 or something. Can I not do that? Oh, it's this red 4 dot molt. Oh, it might be glm. I thought this was a thing. Hold on, let me look at this. Molt. Yeah, I do have a molt. I don't know why it's not finding that though. Unless it takes a pointer. Colors.red4, that's a glm.rgba. Oh. Because of that. I was missing an equal sign. Sorry, that was just kind of confusing. One day I just try to write a server for MMO like yours, but I don't make it correctly. My structure was like 3 main threads, 1 IO packet thread, 1 world ECS ticks, etc. thread. The last one is for database IO threads. Each thread communicate via channels. And every connection has 2 tasks for packet IO. What's your main structure? How do you handle bad expenses, network bottlenecks, RAM usage, etc.? Yeah, I can give you like a high level overview of the backend architecture. So I have a single threaded game tick or game loop, I guess. This is 1 thread. And all this does is I have an ECS that it talks to. That's like the kind of the database, the in-memory database that's looping over. And it's really just a list of systems that need to run for the gameplay to execute. And so these just like operate directly on the memory. And then outside of that, I have networking connections, or I guess we'll draw wires now. I have, or let me think, how do I want to draw this? We'll zoom out a bit and we'll do this. This is all on the server. And then we have, this is 1 thread, I guess, if you want to just think in terms of threads. Obviously you can have like in Go, you can have a bunch of miniature Go routines and stuff. But in terms of like major threads that do things, this is 1 major thread that's doing something. And I have 1 channel that comes in that can add stuff from elsewhere, if that makes sense. I don't have 1. Yeah, I have 1, but it's kind of like vaguely defined. So you can pass a bunch of different stuff in. And then one thing that, like one of the reasons you need this is because you've got this other thread, which is reading over the network. This would be like your network thread, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you call it like an IO thread. And this is like reading data in and like sending it back over. For writing, you can just do like non-blocking writes over the network. Like maybe this is your network pipe. So you can just like write directly to that, right? So you might be pulling data in. You have to parse the data, verify it, validate it, do all whatever you need to do to make sure people aren't cheating or whatever, or sending you like malicious things. You need to write it to your game loop. And then it's kind of just like the memories in place for your game systems to execute. So this is like my network pipe. This goes to proxy. Sorry, this is all backend, like the game server, which I call like the server. And then I need to erase this. And then on the proxy, Right now, my servers always just talk to one proxy, but they are set up to be able to talk to multiple proxies. This is just something that fields connections from clients. Otherwise, you have clients connecting directly to your game server, which just is a kind of a performance suck. So these are all wired to different clients, and these all talk to the proxy. Each of these gets their own little thread that runs to service that one client. And so their input comes in. I maybe do like other validation. I also do things like profanity checking at this layer as well. I do a little bit of simulating things here too, a little bit of anti-cheat. But each of these has their own little loop that's running kind of separately. And so data's kind of coming in and coming through the network and then going through to this section. And then data going out gets put into one thread. It's basically one big packet that's got like a bunch of data in it. And then I need to distribute it to all of the clients. So I'll go through and say like this client orange needs to see like this data. He needs to see like this data and this data, and I'll package all of that up and then send it to the client. And then client blue needs he needs this box as well, and he needs to see this as well. And I'll send all of that stuff to him. And this happens at a slower tick rate than this happens in my game, at least. So that's kind of like the very high level of how I structure stuff. So yeah, I don't know if that explains it. For persisting stuff, I think I do that blocking, but I think it's kind of, I don't think it halts I don't know how I do it actually. I can't remember off the top of my head. When I write someone on to the database. I don't think it blocks the loop, but I think it, you know what? I don't remember. Is multi-proxy standard load balancing, or the state is sharded? It seems like no sharding. Yeah, I have one world. Here's kind of how I concocted it, I guess. This is not how I started. I started with like a model that was more like spatial OS, where I was like, oh, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split my world up into chunks and like do chunks like that and that and that, and like these little chunks will talk to these other chunks. They'll be on different servers, and you overcomplicate it. But what I do now is I do have chunks in my game. However, they are they all run on the same server. So one server is just one instance. It can hold like in players, where in is mostly defined by like how big of a server I'm willing to purchase. But there's kind of like visibility that players have. But chunking is used mostly for like turning things off in the game. I don't chunk things at like a network level anymore. But like if I have a bunch of monsters, let's say I have like 2,000 monsters in this chunk, but there's no players over there, then I'll just turn them off. Though I do have some certain monsters which are special, and they might like go between chunks, like they float around a lot. So those ones are special and they'll always run. But how it works for players is, let's say you're a player here, and you have monsters that are all around, and there's like a monster over here, let's say. Well, you have your vision, you have like a network of vision radius of everything you're allowed to see, and I only send you stuff that's inside of your vision. So I do a spatial hash. I don't use a quad tree. I do a spatial hash. I put all the monsters in a specific bucket, and then I do a circle check on top of those. And so this particular player would see like this chunk, this chunk, this chunk, this chunk, right? So we'd go through all of these and check all the monsters and see if they collide with this circle. And if they do, they get added to their vision list. And then I have, let's say you have like 5 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They all have their own vision list of like networked entities, right? That they see. I like merge all of these, and all of these players are all in the same proxy. I merge all of these visions into one big like vision blob of network entities that need to be sent over the network. And that's all that I'm going to send over this packet. So I just send like player 1 sees these IDs, player 2 sees these IDs, player 3 sees these IDs. And then I say like, well, here's all of the IDs. Here's like the big chunk of all the data. And then when I package up the stuff for player one, I just say like, oh, he needs this one, which is like this guy. And he needs like this one, which is like this guy or something in this big like list of monsters or networkable things, you know? So, oh, thank you, Dylan, for the raid, man. Appreciate it. So I was just explaining some of the backend architecture stuff for Mythfall. So we're in a block diagram mode right now. That's kind of how it works. You know, I have one thread for the game loop, one thread for like network ingress on the server. And then for sending, I don't really have a thread just because it's non-blocking. Unless you fill up like, I think you can fill up your, what's it called? At like the driver level, I think there's a buffer here that you can fill up and then it'll block your writes, but I don't think that's really practical. That's like if you lose connection or something, then that can happen. And then for the proxy, that's just mostly for connecting multiple clients to one server. So then I can have multiple proxies, which I don't right now just because their player count's pretty low. So it's not like worth paying for it. Actually, I think the proxy and the server run on the same server right now currently. Like the same VPS. So, but yeah, that's how it works. But it seems to work pretty well. But also my game's not super interactive like a lot of games are in terms of like in RuneScape, for example, you could like cut down trees and like other players need to see the tree cut down, and it's like that kind of needs to be persisted and stuff like that. So is Go popular for multiplayer servers, or people usually use some Unreal Unity thing? Yeah, I mean, Go is yeah, thank you. Yeah, Go's a popular backend language just because the concurrency stuff is pretty simple to use. But like if you're using a proper game engine like Unreal or Unity, then you almost you don't have to use their networking, but like you're gonna want to use their networking. So explains a lot. Thank you so much. Without a database, my database thread, your proxy section is similar to yours. So how do you decide on this structure? I mean, you find information articles related to this topic. I'm really researching. What I can find are superficial explanations. Yeah, I mean, the world of like backend engineering stuff is it can be overcomplicating depending on how much you need to scale your service. If you need to scale to like 100 players though, then you can make something super simple, right? But if you're trying to be able to scale to like millions of people, then you have to make something very complicated, right? It just depends on your scale. So then when you look online, you'll see things that are people explaining to how to design these systems, and they'll explain it for people that are scaling to like millions of users. And for most people, you just don't need to scale that hard. So, or like you can take some trade-offs. Like I'm going to lose a little bit of gameplay because I'm not going to let a million people on the same server, you know, like my game's not going to be EVE Online. I'm not going to have like 1,000-person space battles, right? So like, I'll just say only 100 people can be in this island at once. And that simplifies your problem space a lot. So if you make those sorts of trade-offs, you can make the game design revolve around the technological like architecture that you're willing and able to build. So, but it just takes time. You have to experiment. I rewrote my networking stuff like 2 times. And you just have to make mistakes and learn from them and then restart pretty much. Do you have a YouTube video explaining this? I do have one old one. I do have kind of an old one that I let me look really quickly. Sorry, I'm trying to find. The problem is it's very old. And yeah, there's this one, I guess. Hold on, let me link it. Oh, I guess I have two. Here's one. And then I scaled my MMO to 100 concurrent connections. I genuinely don't remember what I said in these, but this was me talking about networking stuff. But yeah, load testing is pretty good because you can, one of them is about me doing load testing, and basically I just spawn up a bunch of headless servers and I connect them all and like run the players in circles and stuff just to make like, then you can measure performance on like the game loop. And I haven't done this testing in a long time, but it's one of those things like once you get it ironed out, it's like you kind of don't have to mess with it, you know? And what's my biggest performance suck? I think on the server, the biggest performance suck is I just have monsters all through here, and every single frame you have to regenerate the spatial hash map for which monster is in what bucket. And that's like one of the biggest things, one of the biggest performance users. So, but I mean, I'm like just, this stuff's like super interesting to me, like the networking stuff, the distributed computing stuff. So I just think it's so like fascinating, like how you organize it. And there's a lot of, for networking stuff, there's, what's it called? Gaffer on games. If you want to do like game networking, look at this guy's stuff. Oh, thank you, Dylan, for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, I mean, the game's a demo, or there's the the alpha's out. It's a browser game too, so you can play it on mythfall.com if you want to try it out. But yeah, Gaffer on Games has a lot of good articles about networking physics. There's one like larger article series, but yeah, networked physics. If you find this, Introduction to Network Physics, this all the way through, you'll basically learn like how state-of-the-art games do their networking. But yeah, my one recommendation on networking though is if you make the physics simulation as deterministic as possible, it just simplifies things and it lets you like make mistakes more gracefully, if that makes sense. Because if I just guarantee that all players, that's kind of a weird color flip. If I guarantee that all players like simulate the game the exact same way, then you don't have to send as much over the network because you just know the physics simulation is going to work out the same way. Oh yeah, we're doing colors stuff. Let's add all of our glows. This is like my config file format. I use, I just like define like, this is a monster body. That's like the renderable part, but it's kind of like a flyweight pattern where like, I just send over an ID that says you're this body. And then the client knows which one to associate it to. Is the UI also handled by Golang? Yeah, I wrote a rendering library on top of OpenGL and WebGL. And I use that. Glow blue. I use that, and then I made an immediate mode UI on top of that, which the rendering library is open source, but I wouldn't recommend using it. You should use some other proper one because I just only use it for this project. Does that mean the clients are doing the simulation on their side? Does that mean they can possibly hack in some way? Yeah, so like anti-cheat's a tricky one because it's, you want to like minimize the stuff you send over the network, but simultaneously you need to give people low latency. So one of the nice parts about making your physics simulation deterministic is that the client should always know 100% accuracy what their health is because they're simulating the exact same thing as the server. And the server always 100% knows what their health is. So if the client wants to cheat, they would like set their health to some other value potentially. Like let's say they're trying to like infinite life cheat or something where you can't die. Well, they can do that on the client, right? They can modify their application. But then when they send over, because the client sends over what they think their health is, and if the client sends over like a false health, then the server instantly knows that they're cheating. Well, yeah, it instantly knows that they're cheating, or it instantly knows that they're that there's a bug that I wrote, which usually sometimes I see people cheating, but sometimes it's a bug in the determinism of the physics simulation. So yeah, people can try to cheat, but the game just disconnects them if they do, pretty much. So like you don't really get anywhere. Twitch ad ruins everything. Yeah, sorry, buddy. That's not aimbot, it's just a bug. Yeah. I mean, but like the thing is, I don't know. It's hard to 100% guarantee that nobody's cheating in your game, because even in like Realm of the Mad God or something, people build these bots that just like perfectly dodge. So like there's not really a way to prevent that. Like you can't really prevent someone from writing a program that lets them dodge all bullets 100% of the time accurately, you know? And I think even RuneScape has this problem now where people will PK, but they'll have some bot that like perfectly eats and like perfectly switches and stuff. So like a cat and rat game. Yeah. What they did in Realm was kind of crazy with hacks. Yeah, I've seen videos of it, and it's like they'll have like their character here, and like there's like a bullet here, and then like the program's like predicting the path of the bullet, and like it's predicting all of these bullets at the same time. And it's like perfectly knowing like where to move the player to like dodge through in real time. It's very impressive. Maybe the way is to track statistics and come up with a heuristic that flags various sus players. Yeah, like you'd have to do stuff like that. Or like you see in modern shooter games now, they just install like an anti-cheat application and they catch you cheating that way. And that seems to be like where at least from my perspective, that seems to be like what companies try to do. Because having low latency and having like a deterministic physics simulation is just like really hard to do. So they'd rather just like stick a spyware on your computer and look for cheats that way. Yeah, and thank you everyone for the follows. I appreciate it. Follows and subs. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks. But yeah, it's an effort for sure. Like, I don't know, like for games like Overwatch and stuff, I don't know I know they must client side a lot of it. I just don't know what happens if there's a disagreement. White. I guess I could just pull the whole color. I don't know why I did this way. By the way, I think your client side has a memory leak somewhere around 15 to 30 minutes gameplay. It became lag spikes. I hope you know the issue about it. I'm not familiar, but I can look into it. I can just run a client for. But it should aggressively pull stuff. But sometimes what'll happen is like you'll have a leftover map or something that just aggregates data or just keeps filling up more and more and more. I've had that happen in the past. I just don't you don't clear it quickly enough or something. You can have problems. I need to make a oh, 2 Uint 8. That's what it's called. So we'll have our different glow colors: glow blue, glow red, and then this will be glow white. Yeah, networking code has always been super fun to me, but rendering code on the other hand has never been fun. But that was fun too. It was fun when I was learning it. Like going through the learnopengl.com tutorials was really interesting. And like trying to come up with the best way to organize your data was interesting. But now that I like have like a vague understanding of it, it's not when I have to make changes to my rendering library, I'm always like super disappointed. This seems like dark. It looks like it got darker. Yeah, that looks darker. Let's do oh, I want to make it, we're gonna do the brightest color, because now that we're alpha multiplying it, we want higher brightness colors for the lighting layer, because we want to increase the light level, like the luminosity, but we want to change the color. So we'll do like 0.6. So the like red 5 is like on my color palette, it's like the brightest color. Blue 5 is the brightest blue that I have. I can also just like do a different blue, but I think it's nice to use the same colors, or at least it's convenient. Dun, 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 dun. I need to find some ghosts. Thank you. See, like, doesn't it look, it looks like slightly darker. Like this blue looks like there's the ambience color, which is like this color over here. Then you have a light there that brightens it. This one looks darker. This red looks darker, which is like the opposite direction of what I want. I wonder, I might just, instead of using these, I might just do a, like a really bright desaturated red. Like this is red 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I might just do something like this. Or make it more red, probably. Like I'll probably just go like there. Like the further down I go, the darker the light would be. The further left I go, the less red it'll be. So I think I want something like up here. I want red and white mixture. Let's do this. we'll just experiment with this one. Unfortunately, this part of my program isn't hot reloadable. Hex color, is that a thing? And I have alpha as a separate field, 0x. I don't know. FF, we'll do like AA, I guess. This does what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, this part of my program is not hot reloadable. Because it's like a network, it's kind of like a database that gets embedded inside of the program. Also, when a monster spawns, it only gets the component once. So maybe it does hot reload, it just, I have to leave and re-enter. We need to find a red ghost. There's a red ghost. That seems brighter. What was it called? Debug lighting. Yeah, that's better. Oops. All right, let's go less alpha. So we'll do like 8.8 or something. And we're just gonna do this for every color, I think. I'm gonna do like a blue up here. Let's go like a darker blue, like there maybe. Oops. This one, I don't know if it needs to change really. Just do that though. We'll do a white and then we'll alpha it. Let's see if the colors change. You should build something that renders a preview. A preview of what? Yeah, that does seem brighter. Yeah, I just have to leave and re-enter, I guess, for it to reload. Does the monsters get their lighting color assigned and then Like how it looks in the game. Oh, in game, the sprites. Yeah. I've tried doing stuff like that. It's just then you have to maintain like a separate application. I think the easier solution is just to make things like perfectly hot reloadable to where you can just change your code and then have stuff like instantly update. But I think I mean, this looks decent actually. I think this looks better. At least the ghost light up. These guys don't have lights, obviously, but and then candle lights are every so often. It is hard because I don't know what it's gonna look like on an HDR monitor. But how does Sanguine Scars look? I guess this has lava pools, which are pretty bright. Does this feel dark too? These have lights attached to them. They're smaller though. Maybe I might make ghost lights smaller as well. Thank you, Coleman, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Welcome, welcome. We'll do, I'm gonna do 250 instead. It does feel dark, but it seems it's a scene where shade is intended. Yeah, it's just a tough balance between like making it look dark intentionally, but not so dark where like people can't see what's going on. But all projectiles have a light attached to them, which I think is important. What I should just do is I should add a light to the player. Yeah, people are complaining about places being too dark. A few patches ago they were. And I might have lightened things since then, but like on my screen, this looks fine. Sorry, dyslexic fingers. You're good. I think this is pretty decent. Or maybe they weren't complaining about it being too dark. They were complaining about it being too, or they were not complaining. They were saying that it would look better if there was some more glow inside of this biome. Like where did I write it? Bro. What are these notes? Special boss drop that comes with defeating existing boss. Maybe I have to do some sphere objective. Maybe they have to bring the crystal into different dungeons or biomes. This might have been a questing idea. I don't remember what these are for. They're in a section called Other. Whatever that could mean. I swear there was a to-do item I had for this. Oh, ambience lighting in darker biomes, maybe glowing skulls or something. I'm just gonna say that that's done, and then if people bring it up again, I can fix it. Let me update my patch notes because I haven't done that today yet. On my screen it's dark, but not unplayable, game-breaking dark, just atmosphere for the zone. The glowing bits is a well-needed addition. Yeah. Oh, I also wanted to add a player light. Let me do that too first. But let's do let me add these really quickly. Added. twilight forest. We also have a new feature where it's going to be, oh yeah, banks now have filter buttons. Banks now have filter buttons. We're filtering by equipment type. Oh, and then I also updated the updated ancient automaton boss fight. All right. We'll stage that. Stage. We added the decorations, which is just the candles. Then we added glows to the, yeah, okay. Added better lighting to twilight. I always spell that wrong. Twilight forest. I want to hit the L button before I hit the I button for some reason. Okay, better lighting for Twilight Forest. And then a lot of player light, which I don't think will be hard. I have a function and I can never, I put it in leftovers. That's right. Leftovers on the client. Yeah, this is the function. This is what like creates the local player. So we'll just add a light to this, a light component. This is why I like ECSs, because you can just like throw a light component on somebody and then they have a light. I just did this in here. What's an ECS? It's just a way of like organizing your data for a video game. It's called Entity Component System. The entity component is like how you store the data. You basically have an ID, which is your quote unquote entity. And this is just like a number, like this is literally the number 0. This is literally the number 1. That's literally the number 2. And that's just how you like identify who is what. And then you have like a components table. And inside of this table, ID 0 would have like this component, which is maybe like health. And you might have like a mana component. You might have like a position. You might have like a light. Right? So then you can just like tack on different features to them. And then you have a system, which is able to filter entities by what they have. So I can have a system that only loops over entities that have a light on them and then draws the light. So it's just a way to like filter. It's a way to organize your data and then filter it easily. It's pretty common in game engines. Thank you, Exo Drew, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Unfortunately, this helper function isn't on. I kind of don't want to fill out a whole light. I'm actually surprised I don't put this here. Hold on. I'm gonna copy paste this. We're just gonna we're gonna move this to a more central location. I might call it like simple light, new simple light or something. And then here we'll just do VFX.new simple light. We'll do the soft color. And I need a color here. I guess we'll just do white. Or I'm sorry, it'll be GLM dot. Or no, I can just do colors.white, can't I? or no, color dot white. Wait, what does this take? It takes a U8. I'm just gonna add a white color here. I'm actually surprised I don't have one. Yeah, we'll just do this. Okay, there we go. All right, the player has a light now. Unless it's got to be in here, yeah. Or wait. That's weird. How could I have added a loop? Or I have an import cycle somewhere. Oh, there it is. Okay. I wish Go, like I'm in the VFX package, and I feel like this error message could be so much simpler. You can just say that like you can't import VFX from VFX instead of showing me like a long import cycle list. It just seems like really obvious programmatically to know that I'm importing the same package from the same package. But this might be a little bit of a build just because it's I changed like a very fundamental component package. So while that's building, or we'll do a v0.10. I'm gonna add this to the same line. Added a light on the player. Because I usually have a lot of horizontal space, but sometimes I don't have a lot of vertical space. I do have a new quest idea. I don't know if I can get it in before this patch though, because I kind of want to patch tomorrow. But I also feel like I have enough like super duper early game quests. All right, let's see how this looks. Yeah, you can see the light on them at least, which is nice. Let me see one thing. Yeah, there's a little bit of a flip here because this one's not opaque. Do you use interfaces, e.g. this enemy has health? Use interfaces? This enemy has health. Is that the proper way to code that? I think there's very few cases where you actually need an interface in programming. I think most of the time there's probably a better way to like specify something. But I do not use interfaces for that. Though I do use interfaces for quite a bit of my code. The thing in Go is there's no way to do something polymorphically unless you have interfaces. So it's like interfaces are like some things you can do that way with generic functions, but most of the time you have to use an interface. Or you have to build like your own like poor man's enumeration, which is a little bit painful, but that's also an alternative. Because Go doesn't have, what do they call them? Go doesn't have sum types. like SUM types, like enums. What was I gonna do? Oh yeah. So I have this how I sort stuff in the rendering library is based off of whether it's transparent or not, and I need to make sure the light is marked as transparent. It's in load.go. Yeah, I'm actually surprised. Lights off 0. It should be. Yeah, this is marked. Yeah, so this is marked as translucent. Let me look at the lighting system. I wonder if the lighting system skips this somehow or something. I'm actually confused on why it does blend mode normal here. Why wouldn't I that is so strange. Let me just see what happens if I turn that off. Watch, everything's gonna break now. Like, I know there's a good reason for this, I just don't remember what it is. It's also weird because I'm setting every single light sprite to blend mode normal. Yeah, like this seems right. Well, also I'm not, I don't know what I'm seeing. I'm running into a wall, that's why. Yeah, wait, why do I do blend mode normal? Oh, because of that maybe? So I'm just trying to like see here. No, that seems right. Oh, this seems darker now. Maybe that's why I do it. Yeah, like I think I'm just covering up the blue now. I mean, I'm not replacing all of it. I guess it's still somewhat there. Yeah, that's why. Because I'm like snapping by going over it. By going to a lower Y position, I'm like replacing the light. But I still feel like there's something wrong here. Maybe the light's on the wrong layer. Or maybe it just needs to be a little bit less, a little bit more alpha'd. Let me do that. I did this. Okay, we'll just do, hold on, here's what we'll do. Layer light. We'll just make one up here. Oh no, I just need the color, don't I? Yeah. It's really just this dot molt dot, or I might just do this. It's gonna be colors dot nrgba, I think, or do I do RGBA? nrgba. This is non pre-multiplied. I always have to remember. Okay, what color will do? Yeah, 0xFF, 0xFF, 0xFF. And then for the alpha channel, we'll do like 9.9, I think. Let's see how that looks. It's also a little weird. It's kind of, I see like I very faintly see the light here. It needs to be larger for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is the problem, is it's like you can see it, like the sort order's changing for the light as it's moving. Lighting layer spotlight. Can I put it on the projectile layer? Let me see what this looks like. Hmm. I'm just trying to remember how I did sprite sorting. Because for opaque things, you have to sort them back to front. Or no, you sort them front to back because you want the fill to be minimal, because I use a depth buffer. But for lights, because they're translucent or they have alpha, you have to do it the other way around. So it's strange to me that I see... Yeah, it's strange to see the... I need another one with a colored light. This actually seems better. I just feel like occasionally I see it snap or something. Let's do 6.6 and then we'll do larger 400. But I think having it on a layer above is a little bit better. All right, let's see. I want it just to keep things at like a slightly bright. It's just, man, it's really hard to see. It also looks very ringy. I don't know. Like, I don't think that looks very good. Do I have a bigger light? Let me look at my lighting sprites. I might have one that I can just use. It's gonna be in the trimmed section, light. I mean, it's already a very large sprite. How big is this? 256. What's up, Anthony? How's it going? I'm gonna go back smaller, and I'm gonna do this is the radius. I'm just gonna do 256. It'll be 1-to-1. This will be player light, and we'll do player light as this. Lighting or VFX dot lighting layer projectile. Do 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 do. All right. I mean, it still is pretty small. We'll just have to see. What I might do is I might make it just more alpha. So it'll just brighten a little bit. Like, I don't want it to overpower the the lighting of the ambiance area of like the area you're in. But it's a nice catch-all if you're in a really dark area. At least you have some light. I just don't like how much ringlets it is. But I mean, these areas you don't see it, but you do see it in darker areas, I guess. It really doesn't brighten very much over here, though. Yeah, we'll give this a shot. If people hate it, we can remove it. Maybe make it a super small, like, player highlight ring. You're saying, like, make it even, like, just make it small. We can try, like, maybe 100. With a bit more contrast. Yeah, we would give it a shot. Just so you can place your character a little bit more easily. Let's just do this. I think I like this. We'll give this a shot, and you'll also let me know how it looks on your monitor. It's just a little like glow light around the player. Make it yellower, yellowier. We'll look at it first and let me know what you think. If you think it should be yellower, then I'll take a look at it then. But anyways, I desperately need to go eat. I'm starving. But hopefully I'll get a patch out tomorrow for everyone. I'm not 100% it'll be tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, probably the day after then. So we'll see. But thank you all for stopping in for a stream. Thank you for the raid, Dylan, if you're still around. And but yeah, everybody take care. Have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time.